So the shift we did was again from the what to the why. And we said, instead of saying all the things, we're cheaper, we're better, why don't we go from saying to proving? So use us and see we are an experience. Right? We're going to prove you right. We're going to prove how it is all the time. And price, again, if you go down the wrong spiral of leasing out cars or renting cars or whatever, there's a minimum, right? Somebody has to pay for the gas, somebody has to pay for the car, somebody has to pay insurance, and in car rental you have somebody has to pay for the driver also, right? So there's a minimum charge, or else you're using your network and it's not sustainable. So at the end of the day, if your price is low because the driver's not getting paid, or if your price is low because there's no petrol on the car, it's not going to work. So you actually cannot be in the lowest price segment, you have to be in the added value, added experience, or added something else. Okay? Yes. What you also saw, what we did, what I think is important, is we said, let's go away from trying to describe what is the best leasing experience, easiest leasing experience, to actually go and say, let's try and make it emotional. Because driving is emotional. The truth of the matter is, most cars are decided by Ibo, right? Ibo will end up deciding the car, at least the color. But she will decide the car, but we men, we want to decide the car. So we're trying to find all the arguments why we're buying the car we're buying, so we can go home to our girlfriend and tell her, I think we should have this Toyota Avenza because it's really cool and it has all these benefits and all this. But the girl's not going to buy into that. So what you should say if you're going to try to get the car, you should say, yo, you know this Ferrari I want to buy? It's the safest car on the planet. I heard that kids growing up with the Ferrari is the most clever kids in the world. And you say things like this, which is emotional, and you're going to get the Ibus to find wow. So when you go and buy the Toyota, she's going to say, hey, what's stopping us from the Ferrari? This is just a car that drives better quality mileage, it's black, better resale value, but the other car will give me the things that I want, right? So just going through that. This is the guy who's the real creative, here, Wolf, and he's a dear friend, and he's coming out here to do some sessions where we're going to do some branding exercises. Now, last part of time I will use for you, if you want to, if you dare to, is to play with your brand. Can we do something to try and see what you believe would be the deciding factor, would be the why of your brand? Only if you dare, you don't have to. Tell me why I'm buying your product. Because essentially all the other things are things we just, the platform, lock-in, the marketing, it's just things that we're doing, right? But the real essence is, why? Why Kitty Pal? Why not something else? Why not Salora, Lazada? Why Kitty Pal? And that's the essence of trying to figure out, and it's not coming by us speaking for 5 minutes. It's coming by you actually trying to do this exercise. And I'll give you one example of how to do that very easily. Post-it. Go into a room, and you guys start writing down the emotions, the words, the emotions, and do it in your natural language. So do it in Bahasa. To write down the emotions you feel around the brand that you think you have created. Because you 4 guys have 4 different views on what Kitty Pal is already. You just don't know it yet. So you need to go in and say all these things. And you take 1 wall each, and you just start writing. Lovable, cute, whatever you're writing. You're putting them all up. There's no rules. Right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, turn around, look at each other and say, okay, what did you have? Go around the room and say, oh, I forgot one. And you go back and put one more. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try and group them together. You're going to put them all together and say, are these words the same? And I'll bet you, you're going to find out 2 interesting things. A lot of the words you're saying are the same, maybe in a little different way. But you're going to find out, and now you're coming to the essence of the brand. You're going to come to the essence of what it is. However we mumbo jumbo it in a nicer wording, in a nicer framing, it doesn't matter, we can do that. But the first thing you have to get into, what do you believe it is? Not from a functional point of view, but emotions. Then you're going to find out that one guy in the team is completely different. Doesn't see the belief. and that's a warning sign. It's a warning sign if somebody on the team is saying, well, we're the fastest, cheapest, that's not what we all think we're about. You could build, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea, you could build the fastest, cheapest, whatever. There's still a business case in it, but it might not have the long time life than other brands. Favorite brand? Anyone? Best brand in the world? Nike? Maybe? No?
Best brand? Maybe a religion.
Religion, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be, definitely. Religions are great brands.
That's right.
And without saying something wrong, the truth of the matter is that 4 guys who were a little drunk in the desert a couple thousand years ago went into a bar, and they went out afterwards, and they couldn't really remember what they agreed, but they kind of agreed that there's one God and different messengers. And they went out of that bar again, and we have 4 different world religions. And Christianity has been pushed as the biggest branding thing in the history of mankind. And I think the Catholic Church has done a phenomenal work educating us about how to be good, how to participate in all these things. At the same time, they've been raping and plundering. So it's for me, it's amazing at what they're doing. One of the brands that have some of the strongest believers, but are strange, is the Buddhists. If you meet Buddhist people, really people who believe in Buddha, honestly, not because they have to be famous and it's kind of like I'm a Buddhist, right? There's so many of them. But you meet really a Buddhist, right? It's almost impossible to remove a Buddhist belief. Because a lot of the Islam, Christianity, Judaism, more or less is based on historical events. But Buddha's beliefs are based on emotions. So I believe this and this and this. I'm a Catholic, so I believe that the Virgin Mary is doing this. And this people, she's not a virgin. Prove it! And I'll prove it. I say, shit, she's not a virgin. What? My beliefs are shaken. But when Buddha's saying, it's important, if you want to live a good life, you need to do good. Well, that makes sense. Karma. Yeah. So, are you going to argue it's good to do good? Difficult, right? But the fact of the matter that the word virgin was mistranslated in the year 672, it means that we brought up with the word that the Virgin Mary was a virgin. But now, because we are so good at reading books, we know for a fact she was not a virgin. So Virgin Mary, which is part of the core belief of all Catholics in the world, have a problem that science have said that it doesn't. Okay? But it doesn't mean that it's true or not true. I'm just saying it's easier to get people belief to be shifted if you push these cheapest, best, which I'm saying, okay. But I do agree with you. And if you're, I think a lot of the reason that we have also smaller religions that are doing really well is because they have good people who really get people to believe. You have this Japanese suicide crowd who believe in the doom of the world, who committed mass suicide. Imagine to get 174 people to believe the world will go under tomorrow. Let's go and kill each other, right? And I'll just say, probably be the guy saying, can we just wait until tomorrow and see if it really goes under? I'll be with you tomorrow. Hey, but you get people because they really believe in what you're telling them. But I get that. I'm no disrespect. I have a lot of Catholic friends.
I'm Catholic.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that for me it's strange. I'm a believer in my own religion. That's another thing. I actually believe in what I call religion 2.0. In my country, we get told that we are not religious. We don't go to church. We are living a modern lifestyle. But the truth of the matter is that our society is based on the 10 Commandments. You cannot steal, you cannot lie, you cannot fornicate. That's our society. So does it mean we're not religious because we're not going to church? No. It means that the church is within. We don't need a church. because everybody will penalize everybody. If you steal in Denmark, all your friends will say, not cool. If you sleep with your neighbor's wife, all your friends will say, not cool. So our church in Denmark is insiders. So I call that Christianity 2.0. But I'm not sure if it's that. Okay, any other friends?